It's been a while, but we're back, -1, but better than nothing. I'm pretty sure we've all had a little bit of a break. And today we're just going to have a little chin wag, talk about the last race the last race of the season, and just overall the season in general. So, should we start with Abu Dhabi?
No, I don't want to. No, because I genuinely cried.
I close the tears. I mean, I've got over it now. Once it settled down, I've kind of managed to accept it. But at the time,
it was bad. Like, I don't get me wrong. I'm so happy for Max. So happy. But just the way it happened just breaks my heart.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Like, obviously, Max deserved it, and so did Lewis. They both deserved to win in their own way. So they both did so good. And I guess like the whole season's gone, the last lap was kind of going to be like that anyway. I felt like, but it's just annoying, and I feel for Lewis as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
That was the most. The ending was the most. It was like, it's still a bit of a blur. It was like they could unlap the cars in between, but not all of them. That's what's still like niggling in my brain, is just like, if Lewis was at the front and Max was at the back, then they would have let all the cars in between unlap themselves.
Yeah.
But just because there was like 4 or 5 cars in between Lewis and Max, they just let them, which is not fair on the other ones. No offense, not as if they was gonna really get anywhere with 1 lap to go, but it's still not fair on the other teams and the drivers.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. It's just been a bit of a shambles.
It was. It was confusion the whole lap. Like, I think it was when Lance Stroll, and I was listening to like the Sky commentary and all that, and when Lance Stroll finished, he didn't even know where he finished.
No, exactly. I didn't even know who was third. I had no idea who was third. I thought it was Charles.
And then you keep fourth. I'm like, no one. If it was any other race, that would probably be one of the highlights. But obviously, no one knew that he got fourth.
No, exactly.
Like, wait, what?
And don't get the radio silence from Lewis. I'm just there like, please come back.
What?
Like, I see him on Instagram. He's unfollowed everyone. Man's going through his reputation error.
Even followed his dog.
I know, poor Roscoe.
Was not Roscoe's fault.
That is the worst to claim from me. Unfollowing Roscoe. I
think even from like, obviously, because I think it was such a big event, like, such a big sporting event, that all my friends who don't even watch Formula One watching it, so many other people, and like no one really knew what was going on, and they were all like, I had one of the my friends say, what was the point of me watching the whole race just for the ending to happen like that? So like, she was like, I might as well just come in for the last lap.
Yeah, so honestly, like, can't turn back time now, unfortunately, but rumour has it that the Mercedes is going to be a lot faster next year, so fingers crossed.
Do you think Mercedes should have gone through with their appeal?
Yeah.
Or are you happy that, or do you think they should have gone through?
Yeah, I reckon they probably should have gone for it, especially as they brought a barrister with them anyway. Like,
yeah, they had all the evidence. Like they sometimes things down to like their own opinion of whether like things like running people off track, it can be like go either way. But there was a clear rule, and it was clearly the rules were broken.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not even against Max. That's not why I wanted them to appeal, because I'd happily let him keep his win. But it's the FIA that have gone wrong here. And I will stand by the fact we should have red flagged it and then had a sprint race. I will stand by that till the day I die.
Yeah. But then what you've got to think of is Michael Masi didn't want to do that, because then Lewis would have changed his tyres and it would have been hard for Max to overtake. So that's why I think
did it?
He didn't. And the was it the first lap when Max and Lewis was it on like one of the first corners, and then you had Toto saying they was both like at it all to Michael Matthews, Christian and Toto.
Yeah.
And then at the start of the second to last lap, Christian Horner goes on the radio and says, "Why aren't these unlapped cars allowed to unlap themselves?" And he went, "No, Christian, I've made my decision." And then at the end of that, he changed his mind. Like, if that's not influenced, then no offense, I don't know what it is. Like,
was it Christian? Christian said, "We just need one more lap."
Yeah.
Like, something's not adding up here.
I think it's been happening all season, because even I think Toto Wolff, once the safety car came out, Toto said something like, "We shouldn't have a safety car," which obviously we should have a safety car because the Tifi has been crashed. Like, and also it's now been like announced or like speculation about how they're not going to be allowed to talk to the race director next season.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good thing, because
no, I agree. Yeah.
And it's been like, oh, who's going to say what to convince him, and they're just going at it and each other as well. And it should be down to the racing. They shouldn't have a say in something that's not their decision. Yeah,
no, I completely agree with that. Like, the FIA have been awful and so inconsistent the entire season. But
like at Silverstone, when Toto was like, "I've sent you an email." Like, why is he sending an email?
No, I spoke to Michael about that because I met him the week after, and he was saying that the email was just a bunch of, absolute shite. I was just like, thank you, Michael. I appreciate you letting us know, but yeah, honestly, no. It'll be good to have a change again next year, but I really do think Michael may need to become a
one is consistency.
Yeah,
we just want to see whether that might have meant like more decisions went against Lewis or more decisions went against Max, but they need to be the same. They need to be consistent, and that's not what happened.
Yeah,
so
like both drivers have complained about it being unfair, so clearly something needs to be done.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it is what it is. I'm pretty sure it's been a week and a half since it all happened, and there's still things up in the air. Like, I still think that Mercedes should have appealed, because word of mouth from Red Bull was that Christian Horner, on that night of the race, he was scared that Max was going to lose his championship. So I reckon but then again, it's not Lewis's fault, but it's not Max's either. So I can understand why Lewis would have been like, "I don't want to win my 8th world title sat in a courtroom." Like, that's not, he wants to win it on track. And obviously what happened on track wasn't the right decision by Michael Massey. But I suppose that's all we want as fans, is good racing and consistency with the FIA.
Yeah.
If Max had won it completely on track, like if there was no safety cars or anything involved, I think it would have been nicer for him to win it, not with all this controversy. Like, I think they didn't get the actual result until
it. Like, he's won his first title and has barely been able to actually enjoy it. Like, that is just it does hurt, obviously, because as a first, like, getting your first title, that's massive, and then for it to be hours later until he actually found out, it's like
he was crowned champion 3 times in the space of a week. It was like when he won the race at like 11:15 in that night, and then the Wednesday or Thursday last week when Mercedes announced they wasn't going to appeal. It was a bit like, it's not really fair on him.
No,
like, it had nothing to do with him. It's more so of the FIA and Michael Massey. Realistically, Michael Massey said to Christian Horner, "I've made my decision, I'm not changing it." And then suddenly he changed his mind after the words of Christian. So I really don't think that the team principal should be allowed to talk to the FIA during the race. I just think that's
it makes for good radio, but it dramatizes the sport so much, and it is taking that away. Like, it is just becoming Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's
you
not
think
what I want.
Obviously you can't really talk about ifs because it didn't happen, but if that wasn't the last race of the season, I think would they just enter under safety car? If that was one of the first races of the season, not like having the massive oh, who's going to win. And also, I think I wouldn't have been as annoyed by it if Max and Lewis were like so close the entire race, and if one of them was going ahead and then by pitting, and it was, but Lewis dominated so much.
Yeah,
like I think Max was gonna catch him before. People were saying, well, maybe he will, but he had too big of a gap to close.
What, there was 12 seconds with 4 laps to go, something like that. There's no way Max would have caught up.
No.
He could have done, going at the speed he needed to, they said, to be able to catch up once he the first time. So
like, the thing is, it's not his fault. Well, about his tyre situation. What did he do? Did he lock up? Is that what he did in quali?
Yeah.
He got a flat spot, whatever. So obviously he had to start on the soft tyre. That already put him back. So it is, I don't know, you've got to think, well, you know, Lewis could have won, Max could have won. It could have just been an easy race, but obviously there were a few dilemmas. But, you know.
Yeah, and that first, well, I was like, all I wanted was just them to get through that first lap without having any like drama at all. Because obviously Max was on soft tyres, so I expected him to get away a lot faster. He didn't. Lewis overtook him straight away, and then they almost came together, and I was like, oh,
here we go.
but
yeah, like, it was a good race. It was a very good race, but the ending just ruined it all completely because of what the FIA and Michael decided to do. Like,
and obviously you would have seen Tiffy as well.
Yeah,
like that heartbreaking to think what he's gone through afterwards as well. When any driver crashes, it happens.
Yeah.
So I think it's so wrong that people think that they can go after him when it's happened to every driver before. Every driver's crashed.
Yeah.
Just so.
But to be fair, Lewis's first title wouldn't have come without a mistake. Like, who was it? I don't know. A Glock. He had made a mistake in 2008, and boom, Lewis got his first title. So, you know, it's
just
it's motorsport. But yeah.
Well, talking about Lewis, he did well on last Wednesday. He got knighted, and then he didn't turn up to the FIA prize gala on the Thursdays. I was like, the right days. Yeah. But like, that's like a really big achievement for Lewis. Like, was it 2009? He received an MBE, and now like it was like just after his first world title, he won an MBE, achieved an MBE, and now he's going into his final few years of F1. And like it's not like something like obviously you'd never expect to be knighted, but like that's a really big achievement for like outside of F1 now. Like he's still got like all his like the diversity and everything else that he's still quite passionate about. So that's really just like another tale in his story.
Yeah, well, Lewis is the first racing driver to be knighted while still in the sport. So that's also quite cool that he's actually still been in the sport. Because is it Jackie Stewart? I think he's been knighted.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I think. And someone else.
So obviously, we know that Guan Yu Zhou has taken the Alfa Romeo. We've seen Oscar Piastri's got the Alpine Reserve, and Robert Schwartzman got the Ferrari test driver.
Yeah. So that is exciting. It's definitely F1 is making way for the younger drivers now, which is amazing because they are 20. and already getting into the sport is like an incredible achievement.
Yeah.
Like, we are paving the way for the younger generation now.
Yeah.
But it is a big shame that Oscar's not got a seat, because he has dominated the past 3 years in different championships, so he really did deserve it. But I'm happy for Guan Zhou, because he has been working his absolute arse off in F2 to get where he is, so it'll be exciting.
It's just unlucky that it was the year that this year that Oscar's won it. There's not a free seat for him, and obviously because he won the championship he can't stay in F2, but there are a lot of drivers that are leaving F2. We've got Oscar, Robert, and all the new guys coming through, and before you know it, the F3 grid will be the F1 grid.
Well, who have we lost as well? Obviously, we're saying goodbye to Antonio, who's going to Formula E.
Yeah,
that'll be exciting. Dan Ticktum is going to Formula E as well, so I think it'll be good. I think that sport will be good for them to show what they actually can do and what teams could be missing out on, because they are both strong drivers. Like, what was Antonio with Prema? Yeah, maybe. I feel like he was, but so I think it'll be good having younger drivers in Formula E as well, because it is good advertisement to the younger generation.
It's like a little, like a, I don't know how to word it, but it's saying like, your dreams are F1, but there are also other paths you can take after, like Formula E. Some people are like Indy. There's a lot of like DTM. There's a lot of different categories they can branch off to. So it's not just like they could still be at like the top level, but in Formula E or IndyCar. So it's
kind of like Nick de Vries.
Yeah,
he dominated Formula E. Like, he's incredible in it, and should technically be looked at for an F1 seat because of how strong of a driver he is.
Yeah,
but money talks, so
well, I think that's a nice short and sweet one just to get back into it. I will say a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, just in case I get this uploaded by Saturday. So a Merry Christmas, definitely a Happy New Year, because it'll be up for 2022. And we'll be back probably in the new year with probably reacting to our season predictions at the beginning. Yeah. So thank you all for watching. It's been a while. We're very sorry. But we shall see you all soon.